A very good evening, folks. A very good evening. A very happy Monday as well, as we know who we're going to be playing after the split as well. A very happy Cup semi-final week as well. Hope everyone is doing good on this wonderful Monday. Good result as well the weekend against Kilmarnock. So, you know what? Getting the energy levels back. I'm looking forward to coming back on and start doing this as much as I can. Hello to Mal. Hello to Rhiannon. I hope you are all doing good. Hello to Daniel McManus as well. Hello to 13 people that are tuning in so far. Hopefully this will be a decent podcast tonight. We're going to talk about the post fixtures for the split first of all, because obviously all eyes on Tannadice, all eyes on 1 point we need in Tannadice to clinch the league. And we go back to that game in 2022 where we didn't play great that night against Dundee United. It was a 1-1 draw. I remember Ralston clearing off the line as well, and then Yakamaka scoring for us as well that night. I remember watching it as well in the Brazen Head, and a good friend of mine, Gaz, he was absolutely livid. Even though we clinched the league, he was livid with the performance. He was just pissed off the whole night. And I was like, mate, we're at the winning the league. We're the winning the league back, and you are moaning about a performance. He's like, we should be a proper champions performance. I was like, look, it is what it is. I goes, why are you moaning? Get up to the bar, get more drinks in, and enjoy it more. I do apologise about the lighting. It's kind of brutal tonight. Wasn't bothered looking for the ring light. Just wasn't bothered. I just said, you know what? It is what it is. So I said I'll pop on, have a chat with you, see what the story is. I'm going to just put up the fixtures for coming up. How we all feeling about the Scottish Cup semi-final against St. Johnstone as well? Obviously, St. Johnstone beat us in the league 2 weeks ago that we all want to forget about soon enough, quick enough, cleanse it, get it out of the minds. And this is the fixtures for the league in the new year. Not new year, in the new set of fixtures, obviously after the Scottish Cup, sorry. So this is the one Saturday, 12:30 kickoff, the 26th of April. I'll be down Blackpool for it. I want to find myself a decent Celtic pub in Blackpool. If anyone knows a decent Celtic pub where to watch this game on the 26th, let me know in the comments, please. And then this game here, where, to be honest with you, I wanted this game to be the match to win the league. That was the game I wanted so much for the last few weeks. And I'm going to be honest with you, folks that are watching. I know there's 11 years watching, but I've been saying for the last 3 weeks that I kind of want us to drop points because I wanted to go into the derby game and win the derby game to win the league. That's how I felt about it. I just thought would have bring a little bit more spice to it. I know you don't want to see Celtic dropping points, but the way I felt about it was, you know what? The way we lost the last derby kind of would have been a bit revenge there. Clinching, winning 55 in Ibrox would have been absolutely unbelievable. But it is what it is. Let's go to Tannadice. Let's be a decent team. Jim Goodwin, Dundee United, good side. It'll always be hard going there. We go back to the memories of 2008 when we actually clinched the league there. That was a memorable moment, you know, that Jan Vennegar of Hesselink header. We all can't forget that moment. You know, the Paul Hartley crossing the ball in. That was a midweek game. It was absolutely madness, and the way we conducted ourselves in that season to go on to do 3 in a row was fantastic. But this is about 4 in a row. This is about 55 titles. This is about, you know, the last couple of weeks we've been off it, and then the weekend we were outstanding. The first 20 minutes of the game against Kilmarnock, I thought we really, really pulled it up, and Greg Taylor was fantastic. And I know I've been saying on the channel recently about Greg Taylor saying let him go if he wants to go, and Brendan Rodgers came out and said it clearly in his post-match reaction that he'll fight to the end to try get Greg Taylor a deal that suits Celtic and suits the player. And if we get to keep Greg Taylor, it won't be a backup for Kieran Tierney. But I'll be honest, yeah, Greg's younger. I think he's like 27, 28. Jeffrey Shupp is 33. Let me know in the comments. Who would you rather? Would you rather keep Jeffrey Shillup or would you rather keep Greg Taylor? There's 10 people tuning in tonight. I don't mind. I know it's been a very, very dip in the views, dip in the content, dip full stop. And as I said already on the channel, I'm trying to get back as much as I can. It's gonna be busy times. There's a picture of a leaked jersey last night, Celtic away leaked jersey, doing the rounds across social media. Absolutely fake. If you have seen it, the dark green one. Let's put the prediction to it. The verdict. Let's put the verdict to it. It's fake. It's completely fake. We wouldn't be touching it. What's your predictions for Sunday? I know it's quite early. My predictions for Sunday, I'd say 3-0. Say 3-0 on Sunday. You know, we'll obviously have revenge on the Cars after getting beaten at McDermott Park. Handon is our second pitch, our training pitch at this rate. So hopefully we can go out there, you know, just put the nail to the coffin. Let's not take the opposition for granted. Because when we take the opposition for granted, what happens? They score against us. And yes, we are going to be missing Kasper for another week or two. He probably could be back before the title. Not before the title, before we're actually given the title, you know. But look, it is what it is. It'd be a hard game, but we'll have a lot of, I think is a 70% of the stadium at Hampden is going to be Celtic fans anyway. So no matter what you have, that will give you a spurt on. But it's about what the guys can do on the pitch, and you know, go out there and score early like we did against Kilmarnock. You know, St. Johnson will be putting all their eggs in that basket to try do well in the league, not in the Scottish Cup, because it means try to push for a bit of silverware. They won the trophy 5 years ago, but it's about getting it right against St. Johnson, and it won't be an easy walk in the park on Sunday, but it'll be Easter Sunday. I had me pin on, me 1916 pin on. You can't really see it, thanks to Gale Design. Brilliant. How's it going, John Paul in Glasgow? Good. The home fans didn't have the chance to see us win at home. I know it's selfish, but happy to win anywhere. Exactly. To be honest with you, I sound like an absolute gobshite. I know I don't go to much of the games when I'm saying this, and I'll come across as a selfish perspective here, but it's it makes it more interesting when we win it away. Like touch wood, we do get the result, we get the point, and we win the league in 2 weeks' time. But if we don't get the result, we're going into Ibrox to win the league. It's not the worst ever, but let's look at the fixtures anyway. You know, we have Dundee away, Rangers away, Hibs at home, Aberdeen away, and then we finish off with St. Mirren like last season. Finish off with St. Mirren at home as well. Doing a top job on the podcast. Look at, folks, as I said, the content has been quite slow. I'm not here to make excuses. It is what it is. I've dipped off the form. I've been, you want to call it, injured for the last 6 weeks. I've just been busy doing other stuff, folks. So I'm happy to be back as much as I can. Trying to get as much podcast done. This is the time of the season where we can only talk about a certain amount of things. We could talk about players that you want to bring in, players you want to see go out. I was gutted that Yang is obviously injured. I would have loved to see Yang play the weekend. I thought Keown played well when he came on. You know, Jota played all right when he came on. Still, I'm kind of losing that. I know Stadium Petrov was asked, does he prefer Ida starting games? And he said, yeah, but I'd rather Maeda in that position, I'll be honest. Adam Ida, 14 goals this season. I really, really feel hasn't stepped up to the plate. And I've said this time and time again on the channel. I wanted to see Adam obviously maybe getting 20 goals this season, but never know. Still games there. Could get a bang and a hat trick and get a few more goals in there, but just being disappointed with Adam Ede. I just think it's been a 6 out of 10 so far. Like I will be doing a podcast where I'll be rating the players so far this season in the next couple of days overall. But Adam Ede, I've made it clear in this channel time and time again, let's go out and invest in a new striker in the summer, because he might come good, but he needs competition. Him, Maeda, Johnny Kenny there. We'll see what happens. But doing a top job. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's 99 pence for the subscription. I know I've been saying about stickers, but I am on the verge of actually purchasing stickers. I've been going around and looking at, getting Command the Hoop stickers for a decent price. So they're on the verge of being purchased soon in the next couple of weeks. So I haven't forgot about that as well, just to give something back to people who have subscribed to the channel. And obviously, I was going to say, obviously, join the membership as well. So, which is good. Just 2 seconds. I'm just looking at something here. But yeah, 13 people tuning in. Where you all tuning in from, folks? Please, thanks very much. Appreciate it. So, are we nervous? Were we nervous about next week? We nervous about Dundee away? We went to Dundee in November, I think it was, and we drew that day. I can't see Dundee beating us, even though they will be favourites at home to obviously do a job. But look at Celtic, we'll be going in to clinch that league. As I said already, memorable moments at Tannadice for league wins is obviously 3 years ago when we clinched that by a draw, and then we beat Dundee United in 2008. I think it was a helicopter Wednesday, a helicopter Thursday, as far as I remember. I think it was helicopter Thursday, if I'm correct. And then Rangers, Sefco got pumped by Aberdeen away, and they went down to 9 men. But yeah, crazy times. Just felt like yesterday, that 2008, 7 and 8 season. What a season! That's probably one of the best seasons I've watched the Celtic. And look at, we were all hyped up before the new year kicked in, saying, "Is this be one of our best seasons since the Martin O'Neill days?" And it was looking like that. Looked like that when we got to the Champions League playoffs. It was looking like that. I think the Derby win just kind of just dipped us down. And then some of the performances as well, when you look at 4 defeats already this calendar year, and we were undefeated last calendar year as well in domestic football. Just, the mentality and the levels did drop. But look, there has been a reaction. We done well against Kilmarnock. Tannadice scored 2 wonderful goals, and look at Cameron Carter-Vickers. As much as I have criticised him in recent times, saying has he dropped tools? That was a magnificent goal. That could be goal of the month. Definitely goal of the month. Very, very similar to the position that he scored against Ross County on his debut. Yeah, it was a bit of a deflection at that time against Ross County, but yeah. Really good. So Ayrshire, Susie McCallum says, can't wait for Hampden the weekend. Okay, it should be good. I don't touch Hampden because every time I go to Hampden, we end up getting beaten. That was the last time I was in Hampden was 2016. So I won't go there. I'm very superstitious, so should win the weekend. Oh, there's the skull. The Philly Clermont Cup. I know Blackburn, I know West Lothian quite well. I know that area quite well. Is that where the Tesco's is it? Up there, the big Tesco's. Daniel says, I hope Brendan puts Barry back in his box. I think Bilbao was going to pump them pumped them on Thursday night. Speaking of Bilbao, I was in the airport last week and I seen Bilbao fans. 2 or 3 Bilbao fans, half Rangers, half Bilbao scarves. Do they not know what the crack is? Like, honestly, have they educated themselves? Like, the Basque countryside is against the royals of Spain. It's against the whole royal anarchy. Why the hell would you be into that whole Rangers thing? I was a bit scuffered about it. I was looking at it, I was like, mate, like, blue, white, and red. You have Athletic Bilbao, the Basque countryside. Yous and Sociedad are up there. Like, I was just like, fucking, like, what's next? Like, these half football scarves, I don't buy into it. The only ever half football scarf I've ever had, to be honest with you, was Liverpool and Celtic. because they both share the same song, "You Never Walk Alone." And let's be honest, I used to be a Liverpool fan when I was growing up before I got into the whole Celtic stuff when I was a teenager. But yeah, you wouldn't catch me now in a half and a half scarf. Not a chance. Not a chance. One of my friends is a Man U fan. He went to see Man United and Man City. Was it last season? And he bought a half and half scarf. I was like, what a gobshite. What an absolute fanny. Seriously, what are you thinking? What are you absolutely thinking? But yeah, Bilbao, a couple of Bilbao fans, and then there was a Bilbao fan, which he had a Bilbao jacket on, but a Rangers jersey below it, and I was just like, oh my god, seriously, just don't let this go into plane. Just ship him to Ibrox, and the rest of the Athletic Bilbao fans just disown this lads. Does he think this is like, oh, this is a trip away, so I get to buy Rangers jerseys? Like, come on. They were outstanding. Look at it. The Bilbao fans were outstanding in Georgia Square last week and, at Ibrox. But come on, Jesus Christ. What was he thinking? The two of them were thinking. They will be. Look. That's all they're playing for. They'll be playing to stop us with the, will they give us that? What's that called? That when we win the title, it's not the lap of honor. What's it called when the opposite team claps us all on? What's it called? Jesus Christ. Cleanse me head, folks. I'm rusty. I haven't done podcasts in ages. What? Guard of honor? Is that what's called? Guard of honor? Guard of honor. I think it is. The guard of honor. That's the one. Literally, when Daniel just literally typed that, it just clicked into my head. The guard of honor. Will Rangers do that at Ibrox with 55 titles? Not a chance. Not a chance. Better chance of seeing a good out of blue moon than that happening. But no. Look, we'll have 2,500 fans at Ibrox throwing bottles of blow up champagne onto the pitch, beach balls. Well, they'll probably be netting anyway, so that probably won't be happening. But you know what I mean. If that netting wasn't there, that would be happening. Crazy. Guard of honor. Wouldn't want it because I won. Nah, we'll never give it to them anyway. Fuck it. Never give it to them anyway. They won't be getting it for a long time, and they won't even get a full stop because are they going to stop us anytime soon? They're not going to get that. They're not going to get that 49ers takeover anyway, with the way the markets are going at the moment as well. I can see that being withdrawn, and then they're talking about Gattuso being linked to that job as well. Fuck that. I just want our manager to just get his head into it. And I've made this clear in the channel so many times. Has Brendan Rodgers lost that edge? Has Brendan Rodgers lost that edge of, take this job very serious? Let me know in the comments. Yes, we got a good result the weekend. Could have been 8 or 9-1. But I just feel like Brendan Rodgers has done this in the past, and it feels like it's like second nature to him. It's like second nature. Should be more enjoyable than the previous one, my girlfriend was missing in the live streams. I will tell your girlfriend I'm back, and I hope you're all right, and I hope you're doing well, you and your missus. I'm back. I don't know when I'm going to be doing another one, but I will try do one this week. May do one on Saturday, leading up to it as well. I do apologize. I'll be honest with you, my head hasn't been in it. I've been dealing with other stuff, and it's nothing bad. It's nothing bad. Just being busy with work and other crap going on. So I'm just happy that I'm back and I'm doing the best I can, So it's all about wiping the webs off and getting the WD-40 on the Boise chain and getting it oiled up and getting up and running because it's an exciting part of the season. And I feel more excited to talk about Celtic to the public than thinking it in my head. It's all good. It's all good watching. It's all good watching Celtic from the sofa or from the pub or from a phone or from a laptop and all that. But I need to get back to paradise. I need to get back to doing what I want to do. And sadly, I've only actually got one game in this season. That's just down to being busy with other stuff. And, football sometimes has to be put to the side. As much as we love it, it's our pride, it's our joy, it's our, as I always say in this channel, when you put that jersey on, you're not just representing yourself, you're representing thousands and thousands. You're representing an institution, a club that's built on success, a club that has earned success, a club that has written history, first Scottish, or whatever you want to call it, British club to win the European Cup in 1967. To clean the slate. Every competition we played that year, we won. I know you never forget the Lisbon Lions, even though well before my time, well before my daddy's time. My daddy was born in 71. But, my granddad got to experience that. My granddad got the experience of watching it. Yeah, he was in Ireland sitting there as a young man. He got to experience Celtic. Now he's going to be 80 this year. Celtic win the European Cup. Unbelievable. And you look at the decades of football, the ups and the downs, and do you know what? It just gets better and better. We have money in the bank. We have a good manager. And the question has been asked to me by folk who work with, and they say, Keith, if Rodgers was to leave tomorrow, who would you take? I'm like, Jesus Christ, man, that's a hard one to throw at me. And I don't really know. I'll be honest. I don't really know. If David Moyes was available, I would have took David Moyes. I know football is not the most exciting football, but he's a Celtic man. He gets things done, and he would have been my ideal candidate. But Brendan's here for another year, and I hope he's here for another year. Do I think he's going to extend his contract past 3 years? It's all down to personal circumstances. It's all down to, I'm pretty happy up here in Glasgow. I have my property portfolio. My kids are settled here. My missus is happy here. The only thing that's probably stopping him from extending his contract is down to funding. He wins the treble this season. It's another 2 more honours to his name as well as a manager. So personally, I'd love to see Brendan stay, but it's getting a good whip at the Champions League next season. That's what you want. And I mean, what we mean by a good whip at the Champions League, I mean as in, making it count. See these games where we drew to Dynamo Zagreb away. Could have beaten Dynamo Zagreb. The games against Cluj, we weren't great, but they were organised. We should have beaten Cluj. We have made Celtic Park a fortress again. All means, yes, Bayern Munich did beat us, but for God's sake, it's Bayern Munich. We're playing against a superior team, and we made a fantastic account of ourselves in the Allianz Arena, and you take immense pride from that performance, how we conducted ourselves, and we were literally 90 seconds away from extra time, and it was heartbreaking. But overall, if I rate the season as exciting and be up there, I would probably, at this moment of time, I would probably say a 7, just down to the dip, the lack of hunger from some individuals. I know some have turned it on during the weekend, but I'm not getting too excited about it because it was Kilmarnock. It was Kilmarnock. They're down in the relegations. They're going to be struggling, and I've been saying this time and time again. I know there's people watching from Ayr. I would love to see Scott Brown, Ayr United, play Kilmarnock in the relegation playoff. Imagine that. The relegation promotion playoff. Imagine Ayr and Kilmarnock and Ayrshire derby for status in the Scottish Premiership. That would be unbelievable. Unbelievable stuff. And let's look at McInnes has been a decent manager in his time at Aberdeen and getting promoted Kilmarnock, but come on, they sit there and they sing Billy Boys in the stands. Nah. Let them go down. Let them crumble with that plastic pitch. Let them crumble, because I don't want Kilmarnock back in the league. I'd rather them get relegated and get aired up with Falkirk. I think it'd be different scenery, different clubs, different managers, different type of players that we're not used to playing against. And all means, Falkirk played a good account themselves against us in the Scottish League Cup. They did. So 21 people tuning in. Thank you very much for the donation as well. Hope good to see you back. Hope life is good. Put it this way, I've colour in my face. I've got energy. I've got swagger. And I feel a bit better. I feel a bit better, Mark. And it's good to see you in as well. Hope you're sitting there having your cigar and, just chilling and getting that 55 t-shirt ready. 55 incoming, Good things come to those who wait, as I always say. So, Stephen, how are you getting on, buds? Born in 68, Keith, but my dad remember seeing it. School, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. Thanks for making him a mad team. Brendan said he's here for next year and he gets the treble. That's correct. Well, if he stays here next year and he gets us into Champions League football, there will have to be a situation where you sit there and you say, right, Brendan, you're in your final year contract. Are we triggering a new extension? Or you're just going to ride it out and just do what Martin O'Neill done or Gordon's track and does. Just announce it that you're not, in January or February that you're moving on. And we'll look, there's nothing holding against Brendan. Brendan said he's going to come for 3 years and do a job, and he does it for 3 years. And he's got us into the Champions League latter stages. He gets us a treble. He got us a double in his fourth season. It's not the worst. And we don't know what next season has ahead of us. It could be fantastic or it could be an absolute misery. Hopefully it's not a misery. But they'll never give us the Guard of Honour. The last time out of the last couple of years when it happened, we won the league. No Guard of Honour at IPOX. I think it was a couple of years ago, Keith. Look. That Guard of Honour, wasn't it the treble one that we were meant to get the Guard of Honour and he didn't do it, the last plastic pitches in the Premier League, the better, 100%, and let's hope that Livy do not win the promotion playoff. Let's hope that Ayr beat them and then Ayr go on and do like whoever finishes 11th place. We'll see what happens. But plastic pitches, it's not good. It's not good for the legs. It's not good for the injuries. It's just it's not silky style of football, It's the whole philosophy of football is grass pitches. And yes, in Scotland, there is bad weather and sometimes it's not what you want to make it out to be, like the Fair Park of 2007 when Gretna and Motherwell were sharing that pitch in the Premier League. Some pitches look like beaches, but you just get better grounds, man. And I've made it clear on this channel, and I'll make it clear again. How about if clubs gave Celtic and Rangers more allocation to their stadiums? They'll have more money coming through. When they have more money coming through, when the cameras are on them for these matches, they can start using it for their resources. But they don't want to. They don't want it because they're a set of gobshites. The likes of Kilmarnock. Yeah, Livy did do it. Livy used to keep the attendances. Fair play to St. Johnstone, even though it was a shit day at the office. But if clubs done that in the Premier League, like even Easter Road's become a joke. Tynecastle's become a joke. Like, what do these benefit from this? Clearly, Hearts don't benefit anything from it because you can't even fill that bit of that stand. It's an absolute joke of a thing anyway. But just give me a second. I just want to see. Got a wee message from the lads. Dave. The usual crap. But yeah. Clyde's a slouching. I think he will stay for his contract, especially after the way he left the last time. I think he will fulfill his contract unless, like, Ange gets the boot from Spurs and Daniel Levy's sniffing around. I've seen worse things in football, folks, and I don't think Brendan will walk down to that or leave for Tottenham. Let's be honest. Tottenham fans live in dilemma land. They live in dilemma land. They think because they have a big stadium, look, it's a fantastic stadium, beautiful, beautiful facilities. I love if we got an upgrade like that. I love if we put the facilities in, more bars, maybe if you had a fan zone outside, maybe, maybe a roof over it, maybe a new pitch as well. I would love to see Celtic upgrade the facilities. That's like everyone would like to see Celtic upgrade the facilities, but will it happen with airboards? I don't think the hunger's there. They've made it clear if they want to upgrade the stands, the is it the south stand and the north stand? I'm trying to get confused here for a minute. It would cost them over 125 million to upgrade that stand to a 72-seater stadium. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Typhoon, how are you getting on? What is the crack, bud? Hope you're doing well. Keith, you're looking well. For the change. Do you know what I say? I think it's down to cutting down on the fizzy drinks. I think it's getting down to, eating a little bit better, drinking some berry tea, good for flushing the shit out of your system. But yeah, I'm doing all right. At the end of the day, who cares if we get no guard on or not? What matters is we're going to be fucking champions. We're going to be champions, and they're going to be sitting there like that. Blah, 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 blah. Big house must stay open. Blah, blah. Who gives a shit? Don't give a shit about Barry Ferguson. Don't give a shit about Gattuso. Don't give a shit about Shaney. I don't give a shit about what they do. What I give a shit about is beating them in the graveyard, putting them back where they belong. And you know what? Just celebrate. Because once we get that over and done with, see the remaining games, time to put a few boys on. Let's start giving, Jude Bonner a go. Give boys like that a go. Young Dane Murray a go as well. Naroski a go. We will have games to contest. But once we seal the deal and go to Tannadice and party at Tannadice and, look forward to the last Glasgow derby and for the, Keith, you're looking so handsome. I'm so jealous. Let's go to the Snake Mountain and celebrate. I wonder if Dundee United will give us an extra stand. Will they give us an extra capacity? Will they let us have the stand on the left-hand side or the right-hand side? Put in the comments, have you been to Tannadice? I've heard it's an absolute dump, to be honest. I heard the toilet facilities is shocking. Don't be saying that to Rangers fans because obviously they'll be quite upset hearing about the toilet facilities being quite bad. They tend to smash the place up or tend to drink out of like Seville. So let me know in the comments below. It'd be great. That's right. Once the title's won, give the boys a go. Give them a go. Even give Scott Bain a run. Why not? Since Salah's done well. The Fiddy Clermont Cup. I just can't really see it, so it's a nightmare because of the green screen's on. You just can't see it. There it is there. You can see it there. Look at the Fiddy Clermont Cup. Thinks he's Terminator. Do you know what? I was thinking the other day, for example, if Scott Brown does not get air promoted, right? Will Bruni stay on that air? Or does John Kennedy move on eventually? And you bring Scott Brown into that number 2 position at Celtic? Let me know in the comments because I would have said Hibs. But this is football. This is the results business. And look at Sir Gray was on the verge of losing his job. And then they stuck by him. Fair play to Hibs board. And you know what? As much as I don't like Hibs, they've done fantastic. And, you never know. I just think these strange scenarios in my head. Would Scott Brown be a number 2 to Brendan Rodgers next season if Ayr don't get promoted? Or does he stay at Ayr and give it a good whip at it and see how it goes? Let me know in the comments. 22 people joining themselves live tonight, watching this. I ain't no super scoreboard. I ain't no other big YouTubers like some other folk, but I am. I am who I am. I talk what I can say. And Gillian, All right, Keith, how's life? Hope you enjoy the rest of the season. Since the last few weeks, we've been slightly off. We've been slightly off since January, mate. We've been off. And you know what? The switch is turned on. And hopefully, we're on the up. We're on the up. No matter when we win the league or not. Yeah. Hibs, 18 games unbeaten since we beat them. Exactly. How fucking fantastic to be a Hoybie would be. 18 games unbeaten. Now, got me wrong, they did lose to us in the Scottish Cup, but that's in the league wise, they've been fantastic, you know. And yes, there is sunshine on Leaf. Leave them be. Tannadice would look even worse if it looks like they haven't really established the main stands. They made it from the UEFA Cup money from the 80s. It would be amazing. Was there not talk of Dundee and Dundee United like getting a stadium together up in Tayside? I know there's been talk of obviously Aberdeen getting a new stadium as well, move away from Batodry. Just bring me up to scratch, folks. It'd be decent if you can. Also in the comments as well, Nicholas Keown. Do we take the money for Nicholas Keown in the summer? How much? And do you sell Nicholas Keown in the summer? Because let's be honest, every fucking summer we sell someone for like 25 million. Matt O'Reilly, Jota, who's gonna go? Who's gonna go in the summer? Let me know in the comments. I won't be Days in my Ada anyway. Definitely not. He's not for sale. He is not for sale. And he still hasn't got his new contract yet as well. So let me know in the comments. Good to see the numbers. Good to see the numbers creeping up and being consistent as well. Really good to see, folks. Good to see these numbers. Let me see. Oh, here we go. Marco Polo. Don't think Bruni would go from being full-time manager to assistant. Hard to imagine. Unless he takes the Aberdeen job, if Aberdeen get rid of their manager, which, you know, that's starting to hit a trend again, Aberdeen. Let's talk about Aberdeen yesterday. Aberdeen, unfortunate yesterday. Aberdeen should have been 3-1 up. But yet that's just down to Dallas being a shocking referee, VAR referee. Just down to, let's say, Muir got the boot as well recently, Alan Muir. Like, these lads cannot do their effing job. Simple as. Scottish referees need to get it together. The biased feel off them is unbelievable. Get me wrong. I'm gonna give someone credit, which I never give credit. And John Beaton actually done well the other day as a referee. Maybe because he was a bit under pressure, but John Beaton officiated the game at Celtic Park pretty decent. So we'll give him a little boot of bus for a change. I'm sure he went back to his Crown Bar in Bells Hill and had a laugh, had a sippy. I'm sure he still has that guy from Brickton around his communion party or whatever it was, wedding party was at. Going to be CCV that leaves in the summer. Seems like some of the players from the Ange era are coming to an end. I would agree with you. I would agree. I think I've said this already. I'm not getting my hopes up about CCV. I know he's got an absolute worthy goal the weekend, but I think he's going to go. I just feel like he's a 7 out of 10 interested at Celtic. And if you agree or disagree with me, let me know in the comments. You just know by looking at these people. Like, I think Brendan's a 7 out of 10 interest in his job. You know? Like me, I'm probably a 6 out of 10 at the moment because I'm not putting that hunger and desire in I have been in, haven't done for weeks. But I want to get back up. I want to get that trend back up. And the only way you do something about it is by fucking going on. Actions speak louder than words. So, yeah. There was a rumour about Dundee's as one ground. Yeah, sure. Remember, wasn't it Dundee going to buy Dundee United years ago? I remember Hearts were going to buy Hibs at one point. Crazy stuff, absolute crazy stuff. We're into a different podcast tonight. We're talking about different things. We're trying to get the mind flowing going for the change. Who has been your player of the season? Is it Days in Maeda? Is it Yang? Is it Angles? Is it Kuhn? Is it Callum McGregor because he's scoring loads of goals outside the box? Is it Kasper Schmeichel? Is it Alistair Johnson? Get them tums flowing. Get them burning and let me know in the comments. I'm going to stay on for another 10 minutes and then I'm hopefully will be back maybe Friday night for a chat. Friday night. See what's happening. I do appreciate the 23 people tuning in tonight from all over the place. It's good to see the numbers are creeping back up. I done this last week and there was like 10 people watching. I just think it was down to this. Obviously, it was a sunny. I done it early. It was sunny out. I don't blame people not sitting there and watching people talk on YouTube. I'd be out in my back garden having cans if I was you, you know. I remember that time while as Marcel wanted to merge Hearts and Hibs. Yeah. I watched a documentary on YouTube. It was from the BBC. They obviously done a whole thing into Scottish football. Would you agree to stick with Scales instead of Trusty? I think Trusty is like a jigsaw puzzle, falls apart. Yes, I would probably go with Scales because Scales has more hunger and desire in his hand. Austin Trusty is too concerned on his personal matters. That's what I think. You got to have that work-life balance, and if he wants to get married, or if he's got married before the end of the season, that just shows that he's not taking this cause too serious. I don't give a rat's shite. At the end of the day, these boys be on about 15 grand plus. He could have hold off on his wedding. Don't care about family over in Philly. Don't care about his missus' family over wherever they are from. I just think that just shows a lack of professional attitude. Yes, he's turning for training every day, but he missed the derby game. Liam Scales. He's been written off by a lot of Celtic fans this season. Bomb scare, call them. Brutal at Ibrox. Players need to bounce back. And if you don't get behind these players, what does it say about you as a fan? I am questioning Trusty because Trusty is in and out. He's not consistent. He is not consistent. There's something there with Trusty. And I said it with Sheffield United fans. They were laughing at us when we sold him, when we bought him. I was a bit interested. I was like, you know what? You look at signed for Arsenal from Philadelphia Union. Could it be a player there? Probably playing for the wrong team. You know, that kind of stuff. But I just want Austin Trusty to just get his fucking shit together, to be honest with you. I just think saying stuff about his missus pregnant and look, congratulations and, you know, stuff like that. But come on, you're fucking here to do a job in Glasgow. You're not here to post about your personal life. You're here to post about you winning a medal. You're here to post about you got whipped off at halftime in the League Cup final. I'm just a bit agitated about the whole personal circumstances at the moment with Austin Trusty. I just think he should have left it till the end of the season, like every other fucking footballer does. Simple. You tell them, Keith. You get back up on it. You never want to get back down. Exactly. You get punched on the ground. What are you going to do? Sit there and cry? You get up and try to throw a dig. And if you fall again, you fall again. You keep going until you feel like you're satisfied and you've said you tried your best. You know? It's good to see you're here again, but do what you do and get the rest. Exactly. I'm back. I'm not back with a still a bang, but I'm back. I'm just clearing that webs off. Don't worry. I'm still alive. Still alive and kicking. Still, you know. And let's think about it, right? Did you take anything from Taylor bringing his baby as a mascot? Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. An emotional moment for Greg, for his missus, for his family, and for his little girl. It was an emotional. And it's fantastic to see. But the difference is Greg Taylor has always been a good professional. Yeah, has he dipped off it? Yeah. But overall, since 2019, he's a good servant to the club. And it was a really nice moment to see Greg, you know, bring his little girl out, and he played fantastic. He was man of the match, you know. Or in some words, some people say player of the match. Sorry, man of the match in my eyes. Scales is one of the best defenders we had this season. I'll tell you what, good as get, Pat. The thing about Taylor, Scales scores goals. Like, Scales knows what the crack is. He's an Irish boy. He knows how the importance of playing for Celtic, getting that move from Shamrock Rovers, going on loan to scored his first goal actually at Tannadice. Scales did. Then getting his loan moved to Aberdeen. I met Scales 3 times in an airport, a Celtic Park, and Liam Scales is a decent lad that wants to play for this club. Not like some other players that is in the position that want to focus on weddings and stuff like that. Look at, I want Austin Trusty to be a success at Celtic, but fuck me, leave that till the end of the season. Simple as. And Naroski has done well. Naroski's done well. I just don't like this whole in-out crap with the centre-backs. I don't even know how Stephen Welsh is doing over in Mechelen. I haven't bothered checking. I know Larga Bielka's done well over in the Netherlands for 20, and it looks like we're going to make money off Larga Bielka as well. Yeah. So proud. Nice to see him. Celtic family. I really hope he stays. It's all down to the money. He's a professional at the end of the day, and if he's going from playing on a regular basis to maybe being second choice, and look, he came in to replace Tierney, and he'd be dropping back down the pecking order. If I was in his position, it'd be hard as a professional. I can understand as a family reasons, a personal reasons, I would stay at Celtic if he gets offered a decent contract that suits him. Because obviously he's a Greenock he's from, and he's good friends with Luke, best friends with Luke as well. It's a hard one to say. It really is a hard one to say with Taylor. Regardless what he does, I wish him the best anyway. We've seen Taylor playing some, but the problem is with Taylor, right? Taylor is brutal in the air for heading the ball. When it comes to Champions League games, can't cut it. Domestically, he plays unbelievable. Unbelievable against his former club, Kilmarnock. Absolutely outstanding he was. But I just feel, so I have MS and get knocked down all the time. Well, look you're doing well. You're sitting there now, smoking your cigar and enjoying yourself. That's it. Life, some people have illnesses and some people can't get out of the house. And some I deal with people that are ill all the time, and they say to me, I know you from YouTube, mate. And I'm like, roll my eyes. And I say, yes, that is me, unfortunately. And they say, what do you mean, unfortunately? I was like, mate, I've been Monday to Friday job. If I could sit at home and do this as a full-time thing, I would love to do it. But I can't at the moment. I have too much stuff going on. And he said, just keep going, mate. You're doing good what you do. And this is not here to get compliments off you or get self-praise off every single one is in the comments. It's just, it is what it is. I speak from my heart. I speak from my soul. I don't get to sit in the terraces on a week in, week out basis, but I can say from my microphone that I feel the same as much as most of these fans do. Was I upset last Sunday when we got beaten by St. Johnstone? Sitting there in my bed after flying home from Dublin, watching the game, quite tired, eating a Five Guys, salty chips, eating a hamburger, watching Celtic. Do you know what I felt? I felt a bit disappointed in the lack of hunger from the players. I was disappointed because I sound like Tavernier here when I say this. Jesus Christ. I was annoyed because I flew home that morning and I was going to go out and watch it with my mum and dad. Well, I actually wasn't. I was actually going to FaceTime them and talk to them about it. But I flew home that morning and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go out and watch it on my own. And I didn't go out because I was bollocksed. And a part of me was like, you know what? If we drop points, not the end of the world. And I kind of felt it was going to happen anyway. Because in my mind, I was saying it for 2 or 3 weeks that, you know what? If we fucking drop points and we win the league at Ibrox, I'd be happy with that. I think that would make my season. I think winning 55 at Ibrox would be unbelievable. I'm sorry for swearing, folks. This is how passionate. Imagine our portion of fans beating them at Ibrox and imagine Barry going, like, imagine. Imagine. That would be ideal. So that's how I feel. Sorry about the swearing, folks. Tierney isn't going to sit on the bench. Tierney's doing quite well. He's getting minutes. He's playing well for Arsenal, and I'm delighted for him. Yeah, Jeffrey Shub cannot play the same roles Greg Taylor can. Greg Taylor has more than just as a player. He does it off the pitch as well. A good professional. Brendan talks about it all the time. Tierney can be a bomb scare injury-wise, though. I think there's room for both of them. Let's see what happens. I would like to keep Greg. I'd like to keep Jeffrey as well, but I don't think that's going to happen. I thought Jeffrey was outstanding in the Alliance. My friend Mark is going through a hard time with his mental health. Can you give him a shout out? Of course, Mark. Look, what I would say is, it's me being deep personal. I don't know if Mark is a Celtic fan or whatever, even if he likes football. From your friend Typhoon, it is a shout out to Mark. Mark, if you do watch this and you're going through a difficult time, just remember, this is a hand, and these are your friends and your family. Use everything you can when you're going through a difficult time. There's no point sitting there and overthinking stuff. There's no point sitting there and looking on social media and looking at Tom, Dick, and Harry away on holidays, and Tom, Dick, and Harry buying but looking like they're having the hand glam, because you're going to feel sad. You're going to feel like, oh, why is that not me? What you need to do is, as much as it's hard getting up in the mornings, hard putting clothes on, it's hard brushing your teeth, it's hard spraying stuff, it's hard doing your washing. It can be hard. That's feels like a million miles away. It feels like you're going up a mountain doing stuff like that. I've been there. I've been there in like most difficult times. I've been there where I can't even watch a Celtic game. Struggle to watch a Celtic game when I'm struggling. I've came out and said this so many times on this channel. I'm an advocate for mental health. I would say as it is. If someone is struggling, the first thing you do is, the only time you need a phone, two things you need a phone for: ringing people that are positive and open up and listen to music. That's all you need your phone for. You don't need to know what other people are doing. At the end of the day, it's just the pixels. It's just a phone. Who gives a shit what Liam's doing down the road? It's what you're doing. It's your life. It's what you make it. It's what you make it at the end of the day. And Celtic is a big part of it to folks that are struggling. Don't be afraid to open up, folks, no matter what age you are, no matter what you're feeling. Don't ever be afraid to open up. Look what Neil Lennon's been through with his mental health. Absolutely breaks me heart. The times after the season, what happened when I'm at functions and he couldn't even get on the plane and taxis, that broke me to see Neil Lennon like that. And look what he's doing now. He's doing well for himself. Everyone goes through it, folks. Everyone goes through it. And I'm not trying to trigger people's brains that have gone through it recently. You need to think of yourself. And you need to speak to people that you don't ever be afraid. I'll share a story which is now, and I know this is not to do with football. My story is in 2019. I'll say right now on this channel, I lost everything. I lost every single thing. I lost the bomb, my kids. I came out of 11-year relationship, whoop-de-doo. I lost job upon job. I wasn't eating. I was just depressed. I was depressed. I was the lowest I could ever have imagined. And what did I do? My best friend, Graham, collected me from hospital after being discharged, and he gave me the talk of my life. He gave me that halftime teen talk I needed. He gave me that talk saying, look, Keith, you have two fucking kids there. You have two kids there. Football's this and football's that. But you won't have a brain to think of watching football if you keep going the way you're going. Sometimes you just need to switch the light on. And it comes. It's about inventing your brain that's never has been there before. Opening up a new door in your brain. They say you only use 10% of your brain. Let's think of Typhoon's friend Mark at this difficult time, and he'll get through it. All he needs to do is knock down to his gaff and give him a hug. Give him a hug. A bro hug or a whatever it is. A bro hug. Like a Paddy Roberts and a Kieran Tierney hug. It means a lot. I've learned a lot. When I moved over to Scotland, my friends were there for me stronger than ever. When I was struggling, my friends were on the other side of the phone. And they have been. and I'll be there for my friends as much as I can. You know, it's not easy. We all work, we do things, we have duties, but I really say I feel that the world is in. I feel that the world's in a scary place because it's all comparison online now. Don't ever compare yourself to someone else online. Don't ever compare yourself to someone that has a lovely car or a fitness model or has money in the bank. Don't ever put yourself in that comparison. You know your strengths. And if you're struggling, build yourself up stronger than ever. That's all I would say. That's all I would say. So, yeah, that's my shout out to Mark. And I hope he listens to it. I hope he gets something from it because I'm not here to do do the X Factor simply story. I'm here to be honest with you. If you're fucking struggling, speak to someone. Don't bottle it. I bottled mine for 4.5 years, and I'll tell you one thing. I wish I'd done it 4 weeks before, not 4.5 years. So speak to folk, speak to people. There's a helpline if it's right now. There's a helpline called Breathing Space in Scotland. They're a fantastic helpline. Get them a call, folks. They open from 6 up to I think it's up to 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the night during the week, and then the weekends they're there all the time. Give them a call if anyone's in that stage. So, it's hard, but you know what? Moments like this is good for people that are struggling when you're that. You look at this in 5 years' time and say, you know what? I got myself out of that mess. But it takes time. It takes time, So let's see. I relate to you. Keep my marriage ended after 11 years. I didn't want to see my daughter nearly enough. I know how you feel. That's the thing. Like when me and my ex-partner split, that happened. It was a chapter closed. I wish her the best. And all I wanted was my kids. All I care about is my kids. And I was saying this to Gary I met in the plane from Monaghan. I said, Gary, I'll be honest with you. As much as I have a Celtic channel and I love the club and I'm wearing all Celtic tracks right now, do I get to go to the games? No, I don't. Do I look like a con artist to some Celtic fans because I wear all these clothes and I post all this stuff, but I'm not a part of everyone going week in and week out? Maybe to some fans I am. I don't give a shit. All I care about is my kids growing up and me being there for my kids. That's all I cared about. That's all I fucking cared about. So for me, biting the lip when I don't get to see a derby game or I miss out on cup finals, it's football. It's a business. There's bigger things to go on. My kids won't be young forever. Celtic will be around forever. Unless you go down the swatty like some clubs in Glasgow. But that's how I feel. That's how I feel about my kids. Does it upset me to fly home the odd weekend and I'm seeing Celtic fans coming in on the Ryanair flight while the Celtic colours getting on the planes and while I'm queuing up to board that plane? Of course it does. But it's only fucking football. You know, it's only football. You know. Yeah. I don't really get the experience of having drinks much, but I hope your friend is okay. I really do. I light a wee candle for him tonight, and I hope he gets through this. Mark, I hope you get through this. Big time, big time. And same with you, Mark Scott, as well. I'm not trying to put Debbie Downers on people tonight and saying, "Oh, this and that." Is Taylor better than Jeffrey Shalhoub? I don't know, to be honest with you. I think it's a 50-50. I think Jeffrey is better getting up. He reads the game better. Every player gets like that. How much better can we get under Brendan? The best we can get under Brendan, to be honest with you. 2 seconds. Here's the gaffer. Give me a second. I was going to mute this. Sorry about that, folks. Sorry about that. 2 seconds now. But I am here. I hope I'm not boring the ears off you all. I hope everything's all well. I'm the lucky one that gets to go to the games. but not letting anyone make you less than a fan, but you're still a part of the Celtic family. Exactly. It's crazy though. I used to get really bad about it. Like, I used to get really fucking down about it. Like, really down. Like, I'd sit here, as I said, I'd say for Trophy Day, I'd be sitting in Dublin and I'd be seeing all this Merchant City stuff, and I'd be like, I want to be a part of this, you know? But you make decisions in life that has to benefit not just yourself, others around, and then my kids are number one. So my kids will always stay number one ahead of a football club. So, yeah. But I'm getting back in the swing of things, which is good. Yes, football is life. It will be his last season. Next season. People are asking, what's the best we can get under Brendan? Winning a treble and going unbeaten and making a count in the Champions League, winning a playoff. That's the best you can get. You're just stronger from the previous season. That's my answer. That just to sum it up in a easier perspective. Go a step better than the previous season, and that's this season by getting into the Champions League playoff, winning an additional trophy. That's better than the last season. So yeah, it's about improvement big time. So yeah, folks, I'm going to leave it there. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. Please do subscribe. I hope I haven't borne the ears off you, but I enjoyed doing this tonight. You know, I enjoyed doing it. And as I said, shout out to Mark. Shout out to everyone. That's good. Shout out to Typhoon. Shout out to Gaddafi. Shout out to Typhoon. Shout out to Football's Life. Shout out to Edward. Shout out to Mark Scott. Shout out to Nobby. Shout out to Stephen. Shout out to Susie. You know, shout out to Marco Polo. Shout out to Daniel. Shout out to Rian. Shout out to Mo. I really appreciate you all tuning in tonight, folks. And I know I got very personal, but you know what? Passion goes a lot. You know, you gotta show the passion. You don't show the passion, you can't sell yourself. You don't sell yourself, you get none. Simple as. What's the point of being a pointed salesman? And if you can't get on the phone and you can't waffle and get that sale over the line, that's what it's like. It's like me trying to sell myself to you. I could talk about Celtic as much as I can, but I can give you stats. I could read it off the this and that, but nah, fuck that. Fuck that shit. We all know what it is. It's pub talk. You know, I'm sitting in my gaff, but it's pub talk. It looks like I'm at the Clydes. Can't see any Rangers. There's the Rangers. Can't see anyone. Even though I'm on the other side of the Clyde, I can't see any zombies. It's not like the Thriller. It's not like the Thriller video. So, yeah, enjoy, folks. I'll be back tomorrow sometime to do a short video. And stay classy. Good night. Hell, you'll never walk alone.